The fastest way to look like the go-to expert is to name your system. And in the next 46 seconds, I'm going to give you a hack that you can use to name your system in a way that makes people take action and remember you. Because you could be on stage and speaking and giving all the information and know all your things and have the system, the frameworks, but without a name for it, what happens is you are burying your brilliance under a mountain of confusion. So how do you actually create a name that not only positions you as the go-to authority on that topic, but also mobilizes the audience, the listeners or the readers to take action? That's exactly what I can help you with today, because I'm Daryl Williams Jr. and speaking is what I do. And I can help you too. All right. So here's the hack that I was talking about. Use AI to help you come up with the name for your framework. In a second, we'll get to, what needs to go into that framework and make sure that it's powerful. But for the name of it, use AI, whether it's ChatGPT, it's Claude, it's Gemini, it's whatever the one that you like to use. Here's how you use it to create a name. First things first, you're going to need the framework. So if you don't have the framework on the thing that you teach yet, I recorded another video called the Framework Builder Method. Check that out. But once you have the framework, here are the steps that you can take in order to use AI to help name it. Now, here's the thing, and this is the most important. It's not just about giving a framework and asking for a name, because that's not what's really going to connect to the audience, but you've also got to give it some more information. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have the framework so that you can upload it into the AI system that you want to use. But then the second thing that you want to do is you want to give it these three things. You've got to give it your purpose, which is why you do what you do. You got to give it your audience, which is who you do it for. And you've got to give it the expected results. What transformation can people be able to experience after going through these steps? So when you give it those three things in conjunction with the actual steps of the framework and ask it to create a name for you, then it can come with some options for what the name of the framework should be. In a second, I'm going to show you why it's so important for you to even have the name. But what I don't want you to miss is the importance of having your purpose, your audience, and the transformation that you provide already archived in a particular place. I like to call it your expertise library. We actually build it out completely inside of that Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator. But if you don't already have that, that's some work that you definitely need to do, because it's really what catapults everything else for you as an expert. But does naming the framework really make that much of a difference? Absolutely. Think about it. Have you ever heard of the 80-20 principle? Have you ever heard of SMART goals? Have you ever heard of the 4 P's of marketing or the Pareto principle? The frameworks themselves are solid, but what most people don't realize is that without the name, it's just a list of steps. But when you name it, that becomes your intellectual property. When you name it, that becomes your signature system. You see, when you name it, that's something that people pay premium prices for. And the crazy thing is it's not a difference of your expertise or your experience. It's just about how you package it. So let me show you how to package it, because when you understand the psychology behind this, you'll never look at your content the same. All right, stay with me, because the truth is our brains are wired to look for patterns, right? And that's how we make chaos really simple. Right? So our brain is constantly looking for patterns. And what happens when you give your framework a name, neuroscientists say that this is called giving it a cognitive anchor. Now stick with me here, because there's some big words coming up and I don't want to lose you, but I need to do it in order to make the point, right? When we were in school in biology, we learned about the sympathetic nervous system, and we learned how when there were external stimuli that were causing something to happen to us, then our body would have two natural responses. And even as I'm saying that, somebody might be saying, what in the world are you talking about, right? But watch this. If I were to say that we have a flight or fight response system, that would immediately in your mind say, oh yeah. And all of the jargon that I was mentioning earlier now starts to come back to your mind. Oh yeah, when something happens, our natural response is to fight or flight. That's what we call the cognitive anchor. The cognitive anchor of fight or flight stored all the rest of the complex information behind it. And it's the same thing when you're teaching your frameworks. When you have all of the steps, but without that cognitive anchor of what you name it, then it's hard for the brain to go back and retrieve all of those steps. I like to think about it like a light switch. Okay, the light switch is on the wall, and behind the wall, electricity is running and all those things, but the light doesn't come on until you flip the switch. That cognitive anchor, the name of your system, your framework, that's the flipping of the switch so that they can access all the information that is behind it. And here's what makes this even better for you as a speaker, a coach, or consultant, because now this is your intellectual property. This is your framework. This is your system. This is what takes you from being somebody who knows something to being an expert who is sought after for your signature approach and your framework, your system. This is what allows people to pay premium pricing for access to your intellectual property. All right, so here's the formula to name your own framework. I call it the 3 S's of framework naming. You got to make it simple, sticky, and specific. Let me break it down. Number 1, you got to make it simple. It's got to be easy to say, easy to spell, easy to remember. You want it to stick in the minds of the people who you are speaking it to. You want them to be able to repeat it back to you. Again, it's that cognitive anchor. So you could say something like the comprehensive multidimensional transformation acceleration system, which is just a lot, right? Or You can say the skill builder framework. Simple is going to win every single time. So here's a test to test if something is that simple. Pay attention. You can ask a 9 to 12-year-old and just give them the framework and ask them to repeat it back to you in a couple of seconds. If they got it, cool, you probably nailed it, right? But if they forget some of the words, they stumble over it, it was probably too complex. And if you don't have a 9 to 12-year-old to try this on, please don't go steal one. Don't go borrow somebody else's kid, right? Just ask AI to turn this into a 6th, 7th grade reading level. Now, here's the tactical move to make sure that it is simple. You can use numbers, alliterations, acronyms, or a single word, right? So numbers, the 3-step system, the 10x system, the 3 pillars of this thing, right? So that the numbers make it simple. What about alliteration? The profit path, the speaker secret, the content code, acronyms like focus, follow one course until successful, or a single powerful word like start with why. Please just keep it simple. Your audience and your bank account will thank you. Tell me if this is you. You're doing the reels, the lives, the podcasts, all the things, but deep down you're asking yourself, why isn't any of this working? The truth is, the real block is probably not your offer. It's probably not your ads. And it's probably not your content. It's how you teach. In the 3-day Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator, I'll give you the proven teaching framework that turns content into clients and knowledge into revenue. Don't just create content, create transformation. It's super simple to sign up. The link is in the description below. You've got this. I've got you. Now, the second one is to make it sticky. Sticky means that it gets stuck in people's minds, kind of like a song that you just can't stop humming. For me, it's Baby by Justin Bieber. Baby. You're welcome. Now it's gonna be stuck in the head for the rest of the day. But there's a great book called Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath, and they talk about 6 principles to make things sticky. But the 2 that I want to focus on for you for building your framework name is being concrete and being emotional. Now, concrete is different than abstract, obviously. When we think about a concrete name, you want to think of something that makes an image in somebody's mind or something that is clearly understandable, where abstract is kind of broad. So abstract would be the optimization process. All right, okay, like that. I guess I know what optimization means, I get it. But what about the rocket launch method? It still means we're gonna optimize something, but I'm imagining a rocket. I know what it means to launch something. We're growing and scaling. That makes it more memorable and more sticky than just the optimization process. Now, emotional means we're breaking into exactly how they feel about something. You want them to feel hope, feel urgency, feel relief, right? So you want to say something like the burnout to breakthrough system or the financial freedom guide, like something that allows them to know exactly what emotions they're going to be feeling and experiencing as a result of walking through this process to see that transformation. And then number 3, we're making it specific. And this is where most people mess up because they think that you want to be broad enough to kind of talk about anything. But when you're naming it, you clearly want to be able to let them know what the expected outcome is, right? So instead of just leaving it broad like the 3-step process, 3 steps to what? 3 steps to where? 3 steps how? 3 steps who? 3 steps why? What do you mean by the 3-step process? But what about 3 steps to speaking success? Right? So now we're saying, okay, these are 3 things I need to do in order to grow as a speaker. That's clear. That's very specific on what the outcome is. So to recap, putting it all together, you're going to want to screenshot this, right? It makes a lot of sense to make sure that you name your system so that you can be seen as the go-to authority. In order to name your system, you could use AI to help you, but you've got to make sure that you give it the right information so it doesn't come up with a generic name. And even after AI gives you a name, go through it with this 3-step framework to make sure that it's something that is actually going to be that cognitive anchor for your audience of your listeners, your attendees, your viewers. Here's a 3-step process again. 1, make it simple. Is it easy to say, easy to spell, easy to remember? 2, make it sticky. I'm going to keep this in my mind. What about it is going to make it something that I can't forget? And 3, make sure that it is specific. How can I make sure that they know what the transformation is just from the name of the system? So here's your challenge. Go through that process and actually come up with some names for a system or process that you already teach. Again, remember, if you need help with making a framework, I have the framework builder method. But now if you have your framework already, or you always use these 3 steps when you teach or speak, and you're already going through these things, but you don't have like a sticky, powerful name, try to go through this process to get that name. Because now, again, this is your IP. This is your intellectual property. You can copyright it. You can trademark it. You can become known for it. Your next talk comes from here. Your next book comes from here. Your TED Talk, whatever the thing, your curriculum, all the things, like this all comes from now your archived intellectual property with a specific name that you can be known for and be seen as the go-to expert in this industry. This is your framework. But listen carefully. Here's the thing. Once you actually give your framework a name, it changes everything, because once you name it, you can claim it. Once you claim it, you can sell it. Once you sell it, you can scale it. It is no longer just steps that you share. It is a through line through all of what you do. So now again, it's in your keynote, it's in your curriculum, it's in your book. It is what you are known for. It is your signature thing. It is your intellectual property. And you can use it to really truly impact the people that you were called to make, and also generate the income that you desire. So if you want help kind of building this out, one of the things that we do in the Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator is really build that vault of who you help, how you help them, and why you help them, so that you really have that expertise put together of this is how I can do it. Now we'll help you build out that name of the framework, and you've got a system that you can scale to beyond what you could ever imagine. So the link is in the description below. I really want to help you get there because your expertise is too valuable to stay hidden. Your process is more than just a list of steps. So name it, own it, and watch what happens next. All right, you've got this. I got you.